or you can come to the store, I'll print it out for you. But we have an unacceptable ingredients list that gives you an entire list. It's about, I think when I printed it, it was definitely a few pages long. It was an entire list of items that fell into the stuff category that we'd see at a lot of other stores. They'll carry it. It's a whole lot of artificial preservatives and things that Whole Foods is saying, hey, at Whole Foods, if you want to bring in an item as a vendor, if it's got anything on that stuff category, we're not going to have it on our shelves. We want to only go for things that are pure and things that are really food that our body recognizes. And so that's something to remember with that food not stuff category. We want to get things that our body can most easily digest and absorb. And so that leads us into our second pillar. Our second pillar of health is nutrient dense. So we want to focus in on nutrient density. This is something that's kind of taken a back burner when health and diet is discussed. A lot of times when we think about health and diet, I would say one of the big key terms that I usually hear is just an emphasis on calories. Is that just me? Or is that something that usually people will focus on? They go, well, calories, how many calories is that? For our Health Starts Here 4 Pillars of Health, it's not all about calories. Instead, it's about nutrients. How many nutrients are we consuming into our diet? That's the key focus there. And so with nutrient density, Whole Foods actually has a neat little scale. It's called the ANDI scores. So that's the Aggregate Nutrient Density Index scores that help show you, instead of focusing on the calories, how many nutrients a food item has. And foods can score as high as 1,000 points to show you how many nutrients are in it. So for example, something that's got 1,000 points, our good friend kale, right? So kale's got 1,000 points because of all the different nutrients it has. In a plant-based form and a vegetable form, it's carrying things like iron, vitamin A, vitamin K, so it's got a whole slew of different nutrients in there. So other reason why we like to focus on nutrient density is because of the typical standard American diet out there, or the SAD diet, sorry to say it that way, but standard American diet starts to look kind of sad when you look at plates nowadays. A lot of times we're seeing that they're all one color, right? They're all one color, and the color's usually kind of a mush of brown or cream, right? I saw, maybe it was at a fast food restaurant a little bit ago, I saw an option that had chicken nuggets, french fries, and then some bread. And that was the balanced plate right there. I was going, wait a second, we're missing something. If we're looking for nutrient density, another easy 3-word phrase, we had food not stuff with Whole Food, is eat the rainbow when it comes to nutrient density. So what we mean by that is you want to be able to look down at your plate and you want to see all different colors on there. Each color usually represents a different vitamin and mineral. All those different vitamins and minerals, those are all things that are going to be key for your athletic performance. All those vitamins and minerals can help boost immune function. They can also help with mood. They can help with our energy, our stamina levels, and they can also help prevent muscle fatigue, all sorts of things. So making sure that you find foods that are high in nutrient density, that are full of antioxidants, phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals, is really something to start putting the focus back on. So staying away from that standard American diet, moving into more of a balanced plate. And within that balanced plate, focusing on our third pillar, which is bringing in some plants. So along with nutrient density, making a plate that is now plant strong. That's something that's rare. A lot of times we put the plants on the back burner. With that example I just gave, that was that typical plate of the chicken nuggets, the french fries, and the bread, where were our plants? I guess maybe the fries, but those were kind of mutilated plants. So it's kind of been put on the back burner. So instead we want to look down, see that eat the rainbow plate, and we want to bring in plants, especially for athletic performance. A lot of those plants are going to be great sources of carbohydrates that are going to be our main fuel, right? For our marathon or for our workout, whatever we're doing, exercise-wise, carbohydrates are our main fuel. They're the quickest to turn into glucose, and then the quickest from that to turn into our muscle stores of glycogen for energy. And those plant sources are going to be the strongest ones for you. So going for some vegetables, some fruits on the plate, whole grains, those are all things to bring back into the equation. Beans, things that maybe before we might have been scared of. So bringing in more of that plant-based diet so you can look in and see on your plate, instead of having half of it coming from all of the browns on there and higher fats, low in nutrient density, we'll see a lot more colors in there, a lot more fiber, a lot more vitamins and minerals to help us prevent fatigue, increase our mood, increase our energy levels, do better in our marathons, do better in our workouts. So our last one that we have for our 4 pillars of health are healthy fats. So this is something to think about. Now I know that when you're running a race or when you're doing your workouts, fats do usually have kind of the longest transit time digestion-wise, and so we kind of usually put them on the back burner. We're thinking more about our carbohydrates that we just talked about, maybe pairing our carbohydrates with some protein for after our workouts. But when it comes to fats, they are a key component. We don't want to eliminate them from our diet whatsoever. We want to bring them in because they can play a key part in, again, our mood, our energy levels, and in brain neuron function. I don't know about you, but mood and energy, okay, those might get you, but brain neuron function, that gets everybody. We want our brain neuron function, right? So bring in healthy fats. And along with the idea that we were talking about before with whole food, we want to look for our fats to be coming from the most whole and pure source as possible. So trying to look for things in their plant-based form, where we can also get the fiber component of it. So bringing in things like avocado, nuts, seeds, bringing those into the equation as our healthy fats in controlled amounts. And so those are our kind of 4 pillars of health that really take a big role in our Health Starts Here program. Now what we have today too is we have an option that Chris is going to show us that actually incorporates all 4 pillars of health